actually came in contact with the twins in 2004.
50 Cent and El Chapo are two names you would never expect to hear in the same sentence. Well, step into the intriguing intersection of hip-hop and international crime as we delve into the jaw-dropping moment when notorious drug lord El Chapo unexpectedly returned rapper 50 Cent's stolen chain in the heart of Chicago. Uncover the untold story behind this bizarre encounter, blending the worlds of music and mayhem in a tale that transcends boundaries and defies belief. G-Unit robbed. In hip-hop, chain snatching is extremely disrespectful. It is almost likened to taking an enemy's flag during war. It symbolizes strength on the snatcher's part, a total domination of one's ops. Hip-hop and chains are synonymous. They've been embedded into the hip-hop art form and culture since the beginning. Showing off your chain meant you were on top of your game in hip-hop, that you've achieved ultimate success. But with that comes a lot of eyes and a lot of envious people that aren't always happy to see you shine. In hip-hop, your chain is your reputation, so someone taking it meant taking away your respect and all that you worked hard for. In most cases, rappers who get their chains stolen rarely get them back. Since most are filled with diamonds, they are often sold, with the snatchers looking to make a quick buck. Other times, the snatchers pose wearing the chains and post on social media to humiliate the rappers they have robbed. However, on rare occasions, the chains find their way back to their owners. This was the case back in 2004 when one of the most coveted chains was stolen. This was none other than the G-Unit chain.
G-Unit!
There are a lot of hip-hop stories where rappers or their entourage get robbed of their chains and then have their chains hoisted like a trophy for public glory. And this story is no different. This story with the G-Unit spinner chain is one of the most interesting stories in hip-hop. And the reason why this story is one of the most interesting is because the story comes with a lot of powerful names, including the famous drug lord El Chapo. But to understand the story of the stolen G-Unit chain, it is important to lay out the context. The year was 2004, and that year, the rap group G-Unit was on top of their game. 50 Cent was the biggest artist in the world, and his crew was no different. After releasing their debut album, Beg for Mercy, they had branded G-Unit to the world in such a way that every fan was purchasing everything they were releasing. Beg for Mercy was a game changer for G-Unit. It showcased their raw talent, catchy hooks, and hard-hitting beats. The album was a massive success, selling millions of copies worldwide and solidifying G-Unit's place in hip-hop history. But G-Unit didn't stop at just music. They understood the power of branding and marketing. And one of the unique marketing tools they used was the G-Unit spinner chain. The G-Unit spinner chain was iconic in its time. It had a unique design, with the G-Unit logo spinning at the center. The chain became a symbol of status and success, a way for fans to show their allegiance to G-Unit and be a part of the movement. What made the G-Unit spinner chain even more special was the fact that Lloyd Banks himself hand-drew the design. It was a piece of art that represented the unity and strength of the G-Unit family. The chain was so iconic that during the release of their Beg for Mercy album, 4 lucky fans had a chance to win the chain, which was worth more than $120,000. Young Buck, one of the main artists in G-Unit, was often seen wearing the G-Unit spinner chain. It became his signature piece, a representation of his success and his affiliation with the G-Unit brand. Even 50 Cent himself, the leader of G-Unit, would occasionally wear the G-Unit spinner chain during the early stages of the Beg for Mercy album promo run. But for the most part, it was Young Buck who would be seen rocking the iconic chain. In 2004, Young Buck and Lloyd Banks were gearing up to drop their debut albums. Lloyd Banks released Hunger for More on June 29, 2004, and Young Buck released Straight Outta Cashville on August 24, 2004. These albums were highly anticipated by fans, and Buck and Banks were touring all over America to promote their music. On July 23, 2004, they made a stop in Chicago after their radio interviews and concert. Young Buck and Lloyd Banks headed to their hotel rooms to call it a night. 50 Cent, being the protective leader that he was, had advised his artists not to explore the areas they were visiting with their jewelry on. He wanted them to focus on their work and go straight to the hotel rooms. And that's exactly what Banks and Buck did. They followed 50 Cent's instructions and settled into their hotel rooms, ready to rest and recharge for the next day. See, Chicago has always been known for harboring notorious gangs. The city is well known to have numerous gang-related shootings. From gangs such as the Gangster Disciples and the Black Disciples, 50 Cent knew exactly why he didn't want his artists out partying in Chicago. However, Young Buck's close friend and right-hand man, D-Tay, had different plans that night. D-Tay was raised in the same area of Tennessee as Young Buck. The two grew up together, and at one point, it is rumored that D-Tay had saved Young Buck's life. When Buck blew up, he brought his friend along with him, who then became his right-hand man and hype man for his concerts. D-Tay quickly quickly became a trusted member of the G Unit family, and his loyalty to Buck was unwavering. At this time, Young Buck got a new chain for himself, which was the YB spinner chain. So 50 Cent opted to give the G Unit spinner to D-Tay for promo. D-Tay would then be on tour with Young Buck as his hype man, proudly wearing the G Unit spinner chain. D-Tay even had the G Unit spinner chain on at the 2004 BET Awards, representing G Unit to the fullest. While in Chicago, D-Tay says he had a friend with him that knew the city well. They were approached and asked if they wanted to go out and experience the nightlife in Chicago. Buck, preoccupied with a female companion, decided to stay in his hotel room. But D-Tay, eager to explore, saw this as an opportunity to have a memorable night in the city. So D-Tay took matters into his own hands. He snuck into Buck's hotel room and grabbed the G Unit spinner chain for a night out. According to D-Tay, with the chain, he couldn't pay to get into any club since G Unit was a big deal at the time. Little did he know that this decision would lead to a chain of events that would change everything. D-Tay and his friends decided to go to Cabrini Greens, an area in Chicago known for its violence but also for having a nightclub open past midnight. They pulled up at the Dragon Room in Cabrini Greens, unaware of the danger that awaited them. The security at the Dragon Room noticed that D-Tay was a G Unit affiliate and welcomed them inside.
Going out, we put up at this club, man, and I never forget that it was a lot of people outside by the front door in a line. They was just hanging out. And there was so many people that I'm like, okay, it's active. Like, this ain't in no alley type shit. So I'm like, when we pull up, I'm hanging out the window. That G-Unit in the film, I got the chain. So the security guard at the club door see me. He said, oh, y'all good, y'all come on, just pull over, y'all good, y'all can come in. So I'm like, yeah, we'll pull over right here.
But little did they know that there were other individuals in the club who had different plans for the G Unit spinner chain. What happened next would send shockwaves through the hip-hop community and leave everyone wondering how a G Unit chain could be stolen in the heart of Chicago. D-Tay's dismay would end up getting robbed at gunpoint by Chicago gangsters while talking to a group of people outside of a Chicago nightclub. The Chicago gangsters noticed D-Tay with the chain and fired a few shots and demanded that he give up the chain, which he did. The story got even more interesting when D-Tay went back to the hotel room and had to break the news to his friend, Young Buck, whose chain was now in the hands of robbers. Young Buck was upset and scared at the same time.
Get back to the hotel and I tell Buck that I just got, somebody just took the chain. And Buck's like, took what chain, Tay? I'm like, the G Unit spinner. He like, the G Unit spinner? Tay, no, Tay. You wasn't even supposed to have the chain. How you get the chain, Tay?
What would 50 Cent say had he not told them not to go out in Chicago? Nonetheless, it had to be done. Young Buck called 50 Cent and explained to him what had happened. The rapper explained that his G Unit chain was stolen, but not from him, but from D-Tay. To everyone's surprise, 50 Cent did not yell or seem upset by the situation. He told Young Buck to pass the phone to D-Tay so that he could address him on the chain being stolen.
I'm gonna let you talk to Tay real quick. So he gives me the phone and Fifth's like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah. He said, well, that's really all that matters, that you all right, but y'all wasn't supposed to be out.
D-Tay states that when Young Buck passed him the phone, 50 Cent did not lash out or anything. To the contrary, D-Tay states that 50 Cent asked him if he was okay. After D-Tay assured him that he was okay, 50 Cent told him that what really mattered was that he was okay. But 50 Cent did tell him that per safety protocol, he knows he wasn't supposed to be out. Then 50 Cent told him to pass the phone to Young Buck, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. D-Tay says that after Young Buck spoke to 50 Cent, Young Buck hung up the phone, and D-Tay was sent home immediately per orders of 50 Cent. According to reports, D-Tay was banned from touring with G Unit for 4 months. One of the main reasons that 50 Cent may not have been mad about the chain being stolen was that it was not the original piece. In a recent interview, the rapper revealed that the chain was his most expensive piece of jewelry at the time, costing him a staggering $300,000.
Well, it was $300,000 I spent on the piece. All right.
When he decided to pass the chain to the Young Buck, he did not want to pay for the insurance, so he had a replica made and gave it to Young Buck. So when the chain was stolen, 50 Cent had the original one safe and sound with him.
When I took it off my neck, I didn't want to pay the insurance for it. So I had a dummy piece made.
Young Buck stayed in Chicago for a few days trying to get his chain back, but to no avail. And this is where the story gets even more interesting. The chain found its way to the famous Flores twins. The twins were part of the Sinaloa cartel and were in charge of moving millions worth of drugs in Chicago. According to 50 Cent, one of the robbers approached the Flores twins and made a proposal involving the chain in hopes of cashing it in. The drug lords, seeing a chance to expand their networks, decided to get the chain back to 50 Cent. They stopped the flow of drugs into the city and demanded that the chain be brought to them. With most of the notable gangsters in Chicago dependent on selling drugs in the streets having their bread cut off, the chain quickly found its way to the Flores brothers, who contacted 50 Cent's camp and gave the chain to them. Rappers who got their chains snatched. Chain snatching in hip-hop is not a new phenomenon, as it has happened to many other rappers. One rapper who has had to endure this humiliating act not once, but twice is Young Berg. The first incident took place back in 2008. It was a night that rapper Young Berg will never forget. As he stepped into the Plan B nightclub in Detroit, little did he know that his world was about to be turned upside down. Despite having security by his side, a group of men launched a vicious attack on him within minutes of his arrival. The chaos ensued, leaving Berg with minor cuts and bruises and in a state of shock. As the assailants closed in, Berg's security team swiftly sprang into action, rushing him onto a waiting tour bus for safety. But in the midst of the mayhem, something precious to Berg was snatched away, his beloved Transformer chain. This iconic piece of jewelry, a symbol of his success and status in the hip-hop world, was now in the hands of his attackers. The motive behind this brutal beatdown? Rumors circulated that it was in retaliation for something disrespectful Berg had allegedly said about Detroit rappers in the past. Whether these claims hold any truth or not, the fact remained that Berg had become a target, and his chains were the ultimate prize. As news of the incident spread, pictures emerged of one of the assailants proudly wearing Berg's stolen chain. The image sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, igniting a frenzy of speculation and outrage. How could such a brazen act occur, especially with security present? In the aftermath of the robbery, Berg made the decision to leave Detroit and was swiftly put on a plane back home. The incident had left him physically shaken, but his spirit remained unbroken. Berg chose to keep silent about the incident, leaving fans and critics alike wondering about his next move. The theft of Young Berg's chain in Detroit was a stark reminder of the dangers that come with fame and success in the music industry. It served as a wake-up call for artists to remain vigilant and aware of their surroundings, even in seemingly secure environments. The incident also sparked a larger conversation about the value we place on material possessions and the lengths some are willing to go to obtain them. Little did Berg know that this would not be the end of his chain robbery saga. The next incident took place 2 years later and involved UK rapper Rowdy T. In a video that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, Rowdy T was seen proudly flaunting Young Berg's bejeweled Batman chain. The footage left no room for doubt. Rowdy T had indeed taken the stolen chain and was not afraid to show it off. But the video didn't stop at the mere display of the stolen chain. Rowdy T took the opportunity to launch a scathing attack on Berg, hurling derogatory names and even issuing threats. The audacity of Rowdy T's actions left fans and fellow artists in disbelief as they watched the feud escalate to new heights. In response to the video, Young Berg downplayed the importance of the chain, claiming that he had actually given it away to charity. He emphasized that his focus was on his music career, and that material possessions held little significance to him. However, many remained skeptical of his explanation, questioning why he would donate such a valuable piece of jewelry. Rowdy T, never one to back down, released another video addressing Berg's comments. In this fiery response, he accused Berg of speaking to authorities about the incident, labeling him a snitch. Rowdy T criticized Berg for not handling the situation like a gangster and suggested that he should have taken matters into his own hands. The war of words between the two rappers intensified, further fueling the already heated discussion surrounding the stolen chains. The feud between Young Berg and Rowdy T became a spectacle that divided the hip-hop community. Some sympathized with Berg's loss and condemned Rowdy T's actions, while others saw it as an opportunity to mock and criticize Berg. The stolen chains had become more than just pieces of jewelry. They had become symbols of power and dominance in the cutthroat world of hip-hop. While Young Berg's chain-snatching incidents had happened without anyone getting shot, Waka Flocka Flame was not so lucky. The rapper, whose real name is Joaquin Malfers, was going about his day, washing his car at the Bubble Bath Car Wash on Old National Highway. Little did he know that this routine task would turn into a life-altering moment. It was around 1:30 p.m. when an armed man approached Waka Flocka, demanding his jewelry. A scuffle broke out, and in the chaos, shots were fired. Waka Flocka was struck by a bullet, suffering a gunshot wound to his arm. The assailant, described as a black man in his early 20s, quickly fled the scene, disappearing into the streets of Atlanta. The incident left everyone stunned and concerned for Waka Flocka's well-being. He was immediately rushed to Grady Hospital, where he received prompt medical attention. As news of the shooting spread, the Fulton County Police Department launched an investigation into the incident, who revealed that the motive behind the attack was an attempt to take the rapper's jewelry. The Bubble Bath Car Wash, located at 5220 Old National Highway, became the backdrop for this shocking crime. Witnesses at the scene recounted the chaos and fear that unfolded before their eyes. The car wash, once a place of routine maintenance, had turned into a crime scene, leaving the community in shock. The shooting and robbery have sent shockwaves through the music industry and beyond. Fans and followers have taken to social media to express their concern and support for Waka Flocka Flame. The incident has ignited a wave of speculation and rumors, with everyone eager to uncover the truth behind this shocking crime. After being rushed to Grady Hospital for treatment, Waka Flocka Flame began the healing process. In addition to the gunshot wound in his arm, he also had to contend with blood clots in his right leg and arm. Despite these challenges, Waka Flocka remained optimistic and expressed gratitude for the support he received from his fans and the music community. Waka Flocka's first public appearance since the shooting was a highly anticipated show in St. Louis. The rapper admitted to feeling nervous before taking the stage, unsure of how the crowd would react. However, his fears were quickly dispelled as the audience embraced him with open arms. Waka Flocka described the show as turned up, highlighting the energy and enthusiasm of the crowd. He even took the daring step of jumping into the audience, immersing himself in the electric atmosphere. It was a triumphant return for Waka Flocka, proving that his spirit remained unbroken despite the traumatic experience he had endured. In the aftermath of the shooting, Waka Flocka was confronted with a shocking development. A man claiming to have shot him sent a photo to KarenCivil.com holding Waka Flocka's stolen diamond, Brick Squad chain. While the authenticity of the claim remains uncertain, Waka Flocka responded with a sarcastic dismissal, stating that he didn't see who shot him and therefore couldn't confirm the identity of the gunman. Lastly, we have Gucci Mane, whose chains were also snatched twice. However, during the second incident, 2 people were left dead. It was a sunny day in Miami, the city known for its vibrant music scene and bustling streets. Gucci Mane, a rap icon with a reputation that precedes him, along with his fellow artists Julio Fulio and Mal and Amp Quill, arrived in the city for what they thought would be a memorable trip. Little did they know that their visit would take a shocking turn, leading to a chain-snatching incident that would send shockwaves through the rap community. Gucci Mane, known for his extravagant lifestyle and collection of flashy jewelry, had always been a target for envy. His chains, a symbol of his success and status, were the envy of many. But on this fateful day, Gucci Mane and his crew would learn that fame and fortune do not guarantee safety. As the artists made their way through the streets of Miami, they unknowingly caught the attention of a notorious gang known as the Little Haiti Zoes. This gang, infamous for their involvement in criminal activities, had their eyes set on the prized possessions adorning Gucci Mane and his crew. Surveillance footage captured the moment when the gang members spotted their targets. Gucci Mane, Julio Fulio, and Mal and Amp Quill, oblivious to the danger lurking nearby, continued on their way, unaware of the storm that was about to hit them. The gang members, fueled by their desire for notoriety and quick cash, hatched a plan to snatch the chains from Gucci Mane and his crew. They knew that the artists had failed to check in upon their arrival, a serious offense in the streets of Miami. This failure to adhere to the unwritten rules of the city would prove to have dire consequences. With their plan in motion, the gang members struck when the artists least expected it. In a swift and calculated move, they ambushed Gucci Mane, Julio Fulio, and Mal and Amp Quill, overpowering them and snatching their prized chains right off their necks. Chaos erupted on the streets of Miami as the gang members made their escape, leaving Gucci Mane and his crew stunned and humiliated. The stolen chains, once a symbol of their success, were now in the hands of the Little Haiti Zoes, who wasted no time in flaunting their ill-gotten gains. A video began circulating on social media, showcasing the gang members flexing with the stolen jewelry. The chains, once worn proudly by Gucci Mane and his crew, were now paraded around by the very individuals who had snatched them. It was a shocking sight that sent shockwaves through the rap community. Gucci Mane, Julio Fulio, and Mal and Amp Quill were left reeling from the incident. Their sense of security shattered. They were forced to confront the harsh reality that even the biggest names in the rap game were not immune to the dangers lurking in the streets. News of the chain-snatching incident spread like wildfire, with headlines screaming about Gucci Mane and his crew falling victim to the audacious gang. The rap community was left in disbelief, realizing that no one was safe from the clutches of chain snatchers. The chain-snatching incident involving Gucci Mane, Julio Fulio, and Mal and Amp Quill served as a stark reminder of the consequences that can arise from not adhering to the unwritten rules of the streets. In Miami, failing to check in upon arrival can lead to trouble with gangs, as Gucci Mane and his crew tragically discovered. However, amidst the chaos and humiliation, Julio Fulio emerged as a key figure in resolving the situation. The rapper took it upon himself to confront the gang and retrieve everyone's possessions. Julio Fulio, known for his street smarts and connections, managed to convince the gang members to return the chains. The chain-snatching incidents involving Gucci Mane and his affiliated artists took an even darker turn during a concert by Fujiano, an artist signed to Gucci Mane's label. What was meant to be a night of celebration and music turned into a scene of chaos and tragedy. The nightclub was packed with excited fans, eagerly awaiting Fujiano's performance. The atmosphere was electric as the anticipation grew, but little did they know that the events about to unfold would change their lives forever. The rapper took the stage, ready to deliver an unforgettable performance. The crowd erupted in cheers as he began to showcase his talent and connect with his fans. However, amidst the excitement, a commotion broke out in the crowd. It was reported that someone in the audience attempted to snatch Fujiano's chain, igniting a chain of events that would have devastating consequences. Conflicting accounts emerged about what exactly transpired in the moments following the attempted chain snatching. Some witnesses claimed that a member of Fujiano's entourage, fueled by a desire to protect the artist, opened fire in response to the incident. Panic ensued as gunshots rang out, sending the crowd into a frenzy. People ran for cover, desperately seeking safety amidst the chaos. In the midst of the panic, innocent bystanders became victims of the senseless violence. Emergency services rushed to the nightclub, their sirens piercing through the night. 2 lives were tragically lost in the shooting: a 51-year-old club security guard who was simply doing his job, and a 23-year-old mother of 2, described as an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire. The loss of these 2 lives sent shockwaves through the community, leaving family members and friends devastated. The senseless violence that erupted over a chain-snatching incident had forever altered their lives. Law enforcement agencies launched an investigation into the shooting, aiming to uncover the truth behind the tragic events. They meticulously gathered evidence and interviewed witnesses, piecing together the sequence of events that led to the loss of innocent lives. News headlines splashed across screens, reporting on the shooting incident at the nightclub during Fujiano's concert. The rap community was left in shock, grappling with the harsh reality that even moments of celebration could turn into scenes of violence and tragedy. Chain snatching is prevalent in hip-hop and is taken as disrespect, hence the violent clashes. If you enjoyed this video, click on the boxes playing on your screen to watch similar content.